This is one of the potent and powerful recipes that took my hair from ear length to past armpit length. And this is only its length in its curly state. So just imagine how longer it is when it's straightened out. So the first ingredient that I am starting out with is the black rice water. The second ingredient is coffee, and it is good to choose from medium to dark roast. The third ingredient is rosemary leaves. If they don't have the leaf form in your local grocery store, then you can use the dried ones. And last but not least, my fourth ingredients are cloves. You can grab any type of jar to put all of these ingredients in, but if you would like to know where I bought mine from, it is from the local Dollar Tree in my area. And what I like about this jar is that it has its own measurements printed on it. So if you have a 4, 6, or 8 ounce bottle and you only want to create a small batch, then it will be easy to calculate your measurements on this jar. And I know that some people are going to ask, can they use white rice instead of black? So let me just go ahead and tell you that black rice is more potent due to its higher concentration of vitamins and minerals. It gives your hair a more natural and healthier shine, and it is more effective in promoting hair growth. So as you can see, I couldn't get my hand in that jar to run my fingers through the rice and help clean it. And y'all, my hands are very small, but this jar evidently has to be smaller. But I went ahead and shook it up instead, and that should loosen up any dirt or particles that is on the rice. And once I'm done, I'll rinse it off and fill it up with distilled water. Did you know that black rice water has less of a noticeable or an unpleasant odor compared to white rice water? So you ain't gotta walk around smelling like stinking rice. Well, with my DIYs, you'll never walk around smelling like stinking rice. Anyways, and you will soon see once you create this yourself. So next, I'm adding a tablespoon of the coffee. Coffee contains antioxidants that can be beneficial for hair health. Medium to dark roast offers conditioning properties and may contribute to hair growth and shine. And did you know that coffee also colors your hair? So the darker it is, the more coloring effect it has. But if you have light colored hair and you don't want to change the color, then you may want to substitute this for something else. But I will say that it takes multiple applications before it just completely darkens your hair. But if it's growing my hair, then I really don't care about the color change. So next, I am adding cloves. And I can't really say that this is a spoonful because it's not much in this plastic bag. So let's just guess and say that it's about a half of a teaspoon. But cloves is a pretty power ingredient all by itself. Its vitamins, minerals, and natural remedies can significantly promote hair growth and health when deficiencies are addressed or when used topically. So if you're suffering from alopecia, balding due to high DHT levels, hair thinning due to different types of medications, then cloves should become your best friend. So since I barely had a half of a teaspoon in that bag, I just went ahead and came in my office and started digging into my container full of herbs. So this office is filled with multiple hair growth ingredients, and I would have shown the whole entire room, but it's pretty junky. And that is from me operating a business since 2017, which I temporarily closed the website down about 3 to 4 months ago, in which that allowed me to spend more time in creating these DIY hair growth products for you all. But I later will be opening the website back up for those who just simply don't have the time or the money to buy each and every one of the ingredients that are added into these videos. And that is also why I don't spend much time telling you where I bought each ingredient from. And it's because I've had multiple of them for several years. And over the time when I've traveled, I've also went to herbal stores and bought most of my ingredients. So that is why you see some of them in the Ziploc plastic bags. So last, I'm adding the rosemary, and I take it to the sink and rinse it off real quick before adding it to the jar. So we all know that rosemary water is a popular natural remedy for promoting hair growth. It boosts circulation to the scalp, nourishing hair follicles, and potentially blocks DHT. Some studies also suggest that rosemary water can be as effective as minoxidil, which is a common hair loss treatment in promoting hair growth. So now I take my distilled water and I fill the jar all the way up to the rim. And I proceed by stirring all of the ingredients up while pushing the rosemary leaf down into the water just so it won't turn into mold. If it does that, then the whole complete jar has to be discarded. Rosemary water can increase blood flow to the scalp, delivering essential nutrients and oxygen to hair follicles, which can stimulate growth. The nutrients in it can help strengthen hair follicles, making hair less prone to damage and breakage. Rosemary contains antioxidants that protects hair and scalp from damage caused by environmental factors like pollution and UVA radiation. Each of these ingredients all put together is a powerhouse for hair growth, and all four are extremely great in blocking DHT, which is one of the main causes of hair loss, along with alopecia. But if your edges are simply thinning from a hairstyle or a set of braids that were installed too tight, or from a frontal that was snatched out from being in a hurry, or simply from the glue of a quick weave smothering your roots, then this DIY is for you. And I know that some people may say, well, you have a lot of DIYs on your channel. Which one is best for me? Well, if you know your hair condition and you know the area that's losing hair, but you also watch my video and listen to each ingredient and how I explain what it does, then create that one DIY. And if it's targeting that particular area, then stick to it, because there's no such thing as which one works, because I promise you that they all work. I've been using all of these herbs since 2017 and grew my hair to waist length for the first time before my hair got destroyed by a licensed stylist. So here I am placing it outside and allowing it to get direct exposure from the sun for 24 hours. But if you don't feel like taking yours outside, then simply just add boiling water to it and simply just let it sit overnight. Now, if you want it to become more potent, then you can add an extra night or two, but it is simply up to you. I allow mine to sit for only one night due to the sake of this video, and by all of the ingredients so powerfully complementing each other that you're going to still see amazing results. So it really doesn't matter whatever spray bottle that you have left around. It could even be a spray bottle from an old product that you bought from the store. Just make sure that you rinse it out thoroughly, or better yet, you can go to your local dollar store, even your Walmart or your local Dollar Tree, and just get you a spray bottle for $1.25. And while pouring, I'm using my funnel and my metal strainer. But if you're worried about some of the coffee probably seeping through the metal strainer, then you can always use a cheesecloth or a stocking cap, which will be even better to use. But I will say that while using this metal strainer, I have not experienced any extra particles in my hair. And I'm pretty sure that if it was any in this bottle, that it will clog up the spray nozzle, and it hasn't done that yet. So by me choosing such potent ingredients, I make sure that I do not leave out my liquid conditioning and moisturizing agents like the aloe vera juice and the rose water. I always choose aloe vera because it is a great moisturizer, and it acts as a humectant, drawing moisture from the air and keeping hair hydrated. And it also helps balance the scalp's pH, making it a good choice for those with dry or irritated scalp. And I add 1/4 of a cup. So not only is this a potent hair growth spray, I also turned it into a leave-in conditioner by adding the aloe. Rose water is also a great hair moisturizer. It helps hydrate the scalp and hair, promoting moisture balance and preventing dryness. It also has soothing and anti-inflammatory properties, which can help with an irritated scalp and potentially reduce dandruff. And additionally, it can contribute to the shine, soft, and manageability of hair. And I also add 1/4 of a cup of that as well. I've already told y'all on several of my DIY videos that I live by these 2 moisturizing and conditioning liquids. And by making clove water alone, it can be very drying. So adding these 2 ingredients can help add moisture. And this spray can also be distributed down to your hair strands. And although the black rice has protein in it, the moisturizing agents will help even it out. Or better yet, if your hair is protein sensitive, then simply just apply to your scalp and avoid the hair strands, or simply just add less rice into your concoction. So if you know me, then you'll know that I always add a fragrance oil and a liquid preservative to my DIY. And the preservative of choice is always the Dermaben Plus. This is the one that I've always used for years due to me having a hair care line and selling products. But you can use another preservative if you would like. And the fragrance of choice that you see in the majority of my videos is the Country Apple, which is a generic version of the Bath and Body Works Country Apple. But I promise y'all that it smells no different. And I use about 1/4 of a teaspoon because it is very potent, meaning that the smell is pretty strong, but it's fruity and I like it. And those of you that know me and that has been rocking with me for a minute, y'all know that I do not like to do measurements while creating these DIYs. So normally I would have taken the fragrance oil and just dropped a few drops from out of the container. But I try to hang in there when doing measurements for those who will continuously leave in the comment section asking me what measurements did I use. But like I've stated a million times, that measurements has nothing to do with the growth. If your hair grows at a slower rate than the next person and you use the same exact measurements as a person whose hair grows just a little bit faster, then wouldn't it make more sense to go by your own measurements? If you know that all of your ingredients are strong, but you also know that the cloves tends to grow your hair the fastest, then wouldn't you just go ahead and add a little bit more cloves into your creation? The liquid moisturizers that I added keeps it from drying your hair out, but even those 2 help promote hair growth. So if you add a pinch of black rice, a pinch of coffee, 1 or 2 pieces of cloves, and 1 little sprig of rosemary, and you add that to a large amount of water, then do you really think that it's going to be as potent or as active as a concoction that has more added and on a person's scalp that experiences very slow growth? Just make that make sense. So a lot of people that watch these videos spend more time asking questions on the measurements, and that time can be spent on creating it and adding it to your scalp already by achieving the results that you are so eager to receive. And if you're anything like me, you are not going to wait because you have a goal to achieve. You have a time frame to make, and you already know that the normal hair growth is 1/2 an inch each month. So you already know that naturally you are only getting 6 inches in 1 year, and that's on an average. But you've also learned about the anagen phase, which is an active phase of the hair cycle, and you've also found out that you can keep your hair in that phase just a little while longer by creating these type of DIYs and applying them to your scalp on a consistent basis. You've also learned that your hair grows from your scalp and not from your ends. But you've learned that in order to retain your length and in order to keep that length growing to ear length, to chin length, to shoulder length, to bra strap length, to waist length, down to butt length, or even past that, is to preserve and take care of your ends, because that hair is dead and the hair that is growing from your scalp is alive. And most people swear that their hair is not growing, but as long as the follicles are alive in your scalp, your hair is growing. But the problem is that it is immediately breaking right back off at the same rate that it is growing. And the main reason is because we are not taking care of our ends. Like for instance, these cornrows that I am wearing, the purpose of me wearing them is so I can protect my ends, number one. Number two, it is so I can better see my growth results. When applying growth products to your scalp, while wearing loose hair, you can barely see the difference. Well, at least in my opinion, you can. But it is to keep my ends from snugging, tagging, and immediately breaking right back off. Because if I don't do that, then I am defeating the purpose of applying the products to my scalp. Plus, I don't play about consistency. So let me share with you my rate of consistency is whenever I start my hair growth challenge, which is pretty much all the time, because I got a goal that I'm trying to reach, and playing around with these products will never get me there. So your girl spray her growth spray on her scalp every single day. Yes, you've heard it right. And I'm not here to tell you what to do, but if your hair grows at a slower rate, then what are you doing, sis? Or bruh. Other channels that create DIY mainly will tell you to apply it to your scalp 2 to 3 times a week. And you can very well do that if you're pretty satisfied with the growth rate that you're receiving. But I've been applying mine every day for years, and my hair grew to waist length the first time, and it's going to do it again. Now, while going on these growth challenges, I do take a break, but not a long one. So most of my protective styles are kept in for a week at the least, and 3 to 4 weeks at the longest. So while wearing these cornrows, I am spraying it on my scalp every single day. But if I have to dress up and put on a wig for a day or two, then all the times that I've sprayed it on my scalp every day before that will help cover for that. And I barely would even put on a wig whenever I'm going on a hair growth journey. And I'm only sharing this because whenever I get to waist length, I don't need anybody asking what did I do or what regimen I use when I'm giving it to you now while going through the process. So instead of waiting on me to get there, let's go on this hair growth journey together.